Happy Saturday, everyone.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday.
What are we in the second Saturday of the month?
Ooh, wait, is this the second or the third
No, it
Saturday?
says is it the second or the third?
I thought this
No,
was
it's the third.
it's the third
So we have
Saturday.
5 weeks in January. I
Let's
mean,
see.
I mean, I said January. Did you
So
notice
no,
that?
today is the
June.
second Saturday because we only have 4 weeks, but we have 5 Sundays.
Okay. Well, amen. Thank the Lord.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
So, Dr. T, we got some new what do we call it? We have some.
Flags.
If anybody has been watching us for a little while, we stepping on up, moving on up.
Yeah, I like them too. They tight. Y'all see that shine on it? Y'all see that? So if you don't know what a flag is, it's the little thing that's going around the microphone.
The
That's
little thing.
So Regina don't like the word little this morning, but this is what's going around the microphone, and it's allowing us to show you be in the driver's seat, our logo, our signature page, what we look like. So
So
good morning.
So it's been last week we did a pre-recording because we
Yeah.
both were traveling, and
Hmm.
super excited to be here on this Saturday because our guest this Saturday, I think I remember when he was running around wiping his nose.
You know, yeah, I kind of when he told me how old he was, I was like, dang, I got a kid his
Yeah.
age.
So he's old enough to be your child.
He definitely is, and if
Yes.
he's old enough to be my child, then what does that mean?
He's old enough to be my child too.
I was just saying, but regardless of his age, I'm excited for him being in the studio and what he's getting ready to bring to the table.
Yes, yes. So if anything today, if you're not watching live, you can go back and watch the rerun on YouTube, and then we'll also have reels that we'll be posting during the week.
Mm.
But this young man, Chris Jackson, is more than just a face, a young face.
Hmm.
He was recognized as a member of the Oakland County's 40 and under.
Yeah, now
And
that's huge, y'all.
that
40 under 40. Come on, that's
yeah.
huge.
So you know what? He has a lot of accolades that I really didn't know about until actually I started looking at his bio last night.
Hmm. Yeah, and so this is not his first go round running.
No.
So, he's learned some things. It's been 9 years since he ran the first time. So you'll get a chance to meet Mr. Jackson and see why he feels like he's the best candidate. So I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I remember we talked briefly, before we actually came on, and I didn't realize that he lost the last campaign by 9 votes.
It was 40 votes.
No, 40
Yeah,
votes, 40 votes, 40 votes.
Yeah.
And then it being 40 votes, I said, Chris, did you go and did you say, I want to recount? He said, no.
Hmm.
But, that's me personally, I'd have been like, recount.
Yeah.
Recount the votes.
But here's the thing. In that type of situation, you learn from some things and you
Yeah.
move forward because maybe it wasn't timing then.
Yeah.
But here we are again.
Yeah.
So, sometimes it's not right timing.
Right.
We read that all the time, even in scripture.
Right. But the thing about is it his time now? That's the
We'll
thing.
see.
We'll see.
Voters have voters have the voice.
You have the voice.
Yeah.
And the one thing we got to realize in Pontiac, we got to do our homework on our candidates.
Yeah.
I always tell people social media is important
It is.
because you could be running for office right now, but what were you doing before then?
Absolutely.
If looking back with Facebook page, looking back who his friends are, and just looking in their pages, because you don't realize when you're running for office, you're walking billboard.
Absolutely, but you know what's also amazing? A lot of times people do a lot of things behind the scenes that we don't see. The citizens. I'm a Pontiac true, born and raised, and some things you just don't see because people are working behind the scenes. But now social media has made it so available to where we can see what you're doing out in the community and being very present. Because we are people who want to see people who are present and actually doing the work and not just talking about it.
The great thing about technology today is that people can be doing a video of you and taking pictures, and you will never know.
You'll never know.
You'll never.
I told
never
somebody
know.
last night, I said, I bet people got cameras on they hats and stuff. Because how is it?
Well, you got them on you can get them on your glasses. You know that, right?
Yes, but I was like, how does people be videoing this? They standing there talking to you. They don't have a camera in their hand, but all of a sudden they got all this footage. Cameras are small and you can put them anywhere.
Well, I'm just gonna tell you this. So, you know, at work sometime. We're joking around, and we're taking pictures of certain things people don't even know.
Listen,
And we,
I remember we were out having dinner, and there was somebody asleep at the counter, and I was snapping the picture, and I didn't put it on social media or anything, but it was you and I was like, look, like, I mean, he was asleep. I mean, so this day and age, you better be doing the right thing.
well, you know what? I'm a little sleepy cat sometime, and I've got.
You go sleep.
I go to sleep. I take naps. Okay.
Wait a minute,
I've
don't take
been
naps
taking-
at the dinner table.
No,
though,
not the
when
dinner
you
table.
out.
But I've taken naps for years.
That man was
And
knocked out.
he
That
was-
wasn't no nap.
what he's doing?
He was knocked out. He was in the snooze, but it wasn't because he was sleepy. It was because he was having libations. So,
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Chris Jackson, who is running for District 1 in the city of Pontiac. Super excited to have him on the show. We'll be right back.
Master Baker Sierra Crudup, owner of Delicious Sweets Bake Shop and Craven Cookies, located at 203 South Washington Street in Saginaw, Michigan, inside of the SVRC Marketplace. If you're looking for delicious sweets, this is the place to stop in. They specialize in homemade desserts and one-of-a-kind custom cakes. They can be reached at 248-836-8080 or dsibakeshop.com.
Regina the Queen of Carlone's here with Joe Longhammer Chevrolet in Waterford. If you're looking to get into a new or used vehicle with affordable rates, come see the Queen, like Dr. T.
The Queen got me approved the same day and got me what I wanted. No hassle, no problems. Go see Regina, the Queen of Carlone.
That's right, my lenders are making unheard of deals where others simply cannot.
Hey, Metro Detroit, it's me, Tune Up Man, along with Joe Longhammer and Regina, the Queen of Carlones, at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet in Waterford.
If I'm looking for a new car and I have $500, Regina, what can you do for me?
I'll take your $500 and turn it into $1,000.
But there's a catch, right?
That's right. I can only handle 25 of these deals each month.
Hurry before those 25 deals are gone.
Call or text 248-266-9875.
And we are back, and we're super excited. We have Chris Jackson in the building, who is running for District 1. Good morning,
morning.
Mr. Jackson.
Good morning, good morning. Top of the morning. How y'all doing?
Top of the morning.
Come on, top of the
Yes,
morning.
ma'am.
Now, why is it top of the morning?
Because you got an 8-month-old at home that doesn't know how to go to sleep at night, so this top of the morning.
Top of the morning.
Salute. And also, listeners, today is Mr. Jackson's birthday.
Yeah.
So I want you all to put in the comments, and I want you all to say happy birthday to Mr. Jackson. Because Regina used to tour with Janet Jackson and even Donna Summers, she likes to sing.
I do. So won't you sing this morning?
No, I ain't gonna sing.
You're not-
Happy birthday to you, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate the sentiments.
Yeah,
Another year.
may this year be better than
Unfortunate.
every year that you've had before.
No doubt.
You know why? It's because you have an 8-month-year-old. You're running again for the second time.
That's right.
27 to 30.
What's that?
It was 27 when you ran for your first.
Yeah, so
No, it was
that was 9 years ago.
2017.
But you were 27, right?
Yeah, I was 27. Yep.
And you're 30.
6 now.
36 now. So 9 years.
Yeah, years ago. Yep.
Come on, 9. All right. So I'm excited. So, Mr. Jackson, tell the listeners a little bit about you.
Yeah, so I appreciate y'all for having me here this morning, first of all. The work y'all do, the fact that y'all want to make sure that people understand what's going on in the community is important. And the more outlets that we can have doing what you do, I think we'll be better off. Because I think one of the things that we've experienced in Pontiac is just miseducation and or just a lack of knowledge about what's going on overall. So I appreciate the gaps that y'all are filling, first and foremost.
Thank you.
No doubt. Chris Jackson, so born and raised here in the city of Pontiac. Yeah, yep, that's it.
Born and raised in the Yak.
In the Yak.
Oh.
That's right. Really grew up most of my childhood, most of my life south side of Pontiac. And it was a cool experience for me, just because we had community in a way that we don't have anymore necessarily, right? We were just talking the other day about just the fact that the community wrapped its arms around kids, period, right? I could walk from Crystal Lake Street all the way down Motor to Fieldue or Ditmar, where my uncle and my grandparents were, and didn't have to worry about anything. We didn't think about any trouble. We would go to either the Mill Dam or the Dunlap to play basketball. You know what I mean? So I remember, and a lot of it has to do with my parents, but I just remember a childhood, really a life of just no fear.
Well, let me just
what I mean?
step in real quick. Your mom is on right now, and she
Is she?
said happy birthday, son. So
Oh.
shout out to mom,
No
Pamela
Pamela
D. Jackson
Hodges.
Hodges.
Good morning.
The truth, MVP.
All right, come on, MVP.
The one that's responsible for you being here.
That's
for
right.
everything.
So shout out.
For everything. Superhero, man. Single mom. Raising a young man, a black man, right?
mean,
In
so she-
America, man. It's
mom
just
was
not easy.
single when she-
Yeah. Just,
Oh,
you
shout
know, it
out
was
to
me
her.
and her a lot of the time
Yeah.
growing up. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, shout out to you again, Miss Jackson Hodges. Great job for all you've done. So I know you're excited to see your product. This is a product of what you did.
True
Yes,
story.
yes.
All right, so Mr. Jackson, let's get back in it. So did you grow up on the South Side?
Yeah, grew up on the
Okay,
South Side.
so this is more personal for you then because you
100%.
kind of know what living on the South Side
right.
was, and now you come back to represent.
That's the goal, at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, I in high school, you know, I went to Pontiac Northern first.
Husky in the house.
Yeah,
What?
that's true. Then I know, right? It is what it is. But I ended up getting a scholarship to go to Cranbrook shortly
Okay.
after that.
So you did how many years in the Pontiac School District?
So up until ninth grade.
Ninth
Okay.
grade.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? And then 10th grade went on to Cranbrook, and then ultimately graduated from West Bloomfield to play like sports in high school. And for me, it was 3 very different experiences.
Let's
right?
talk about
Number
it.
one?
Well, so the first
Number one?
so
What's the first experience?
Well, the first experience is Pontiac, it's urban America, right?
Culture,
And we grew
yeah.
up in it, so I get it. And then it's a shell shock almost going to somewhere. Now, shout out to Horizons Upper Bound, the HUB program.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah, no doubt. That's how I got the scholarship, right?
Yeah.
And then went to Cranbrook, and it was, I mean, look, it was primarily white.
Yeah.
And rich, right?
Yeah.
You know, what I mean, you talking
Literally.
like a
You
$30,000
either fit in
a
or
year
don't
school,
fit in.
or you figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
that's what we had to do was figure out what it meant. And then ultimately West Bloomfield in itself was suburban America, right? So we were just,
Absolutely.
I don't know if y'all remember, it was really just starting this whole school of choice.
School of choice.
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
remember.
And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
a lot of people from Pontiac were just starting to go out there.
So it's funny you say that because I went to, I did all my years in Pontiac until ninth grade.
Okay?
No, 10th grade.
Okay.
So I knew what it was like from going from Pontiac to Bloomfield Hills.
Right.
It was shell shock.
No doubt.
You either gonna make it, or you're not gonna make
That's
it.
it.
That's it.
And if depends on what your skills are.
Yep.
And my skills is basketball, so I made it. But if
No
I
doubt.
had basketball,
100%.
I wouldn't have made it.
Yeah.
But what was one of your skills, or what made you survive when you actually left out of Pontiac, went to Cranbrook, and went to West Bloomfield?
Yeah.
Because those are 2 upper level places to be, especially if you're born and raised in Pontiac.
No doubt.
That's true.
So I was pretty good at sports, right? Played 3 sports: football, basketball, track. So I think that helped, right? Because for me, if you know football, you start to blend in with people in the summer before school even starts. So I was fortunate enough to at least find a tribe before we even started school, right? But that's not the case for everybody. And it helped me really when I went to Hope College too, right? When I ended up going to Hope College in Holland, Michigan. So the main thing is just, I think I'm a chameleon in the way where I can fit in whatever space that I'm in, and I think that's really helped me in really my professional career and everything else that I've accomplished at this point. So yeah.
That's real good. I like the fact that you talked about how, you had to get into these spaces and you had to you both said that you had to you gonna either stay or you gonna go.
100%.
Like that's 100%.
You either gonna fall or you gonna die.
One of the two. You gonna run. You gonna run. Or you gonna
Well, I'm
stay.
sorry, you gonna run,
You gonna
or you
stay.
gonna, right, you gonna stay or you gonna die, yeah.
But I love this but how did you take your upbringing and the way you were raised and from where you were from, how did you balance it out? Because that's a whole nother lifestyle going to Cranbrook, even going period, the way that it was set up, that was totally different
Yeah.
from what was going on in Pontiac. I'm born and raised in Pontiac.
No doubt. And the crazier thing is that Cranbrook is only a mile away,
A
right? So it's not
mile,
even. So, but it's an
literally.
entirely different world away
Yes,
if you
it
go there. You
is.
know what I mean?
Across that line.
Right. So I ended up having to stay on campus. So
Okay.
really it was college before college.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
But what worked out is it wasn't that far from home,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you had some people who were there who were either from other countries,
Mm-hmm.
families, right, or from Detroit or something, or the west side of the state who could never
Go
get
home.
back home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And luckily, you know, mom cared enough for me that, you know, whenever I wanted to come home, I could come home.
Yeah.
So it was never like I was lost on Pontiac and its community because I was only a rock throw or a stone throw away for me. Yeah. So.
Well, let's talk a little about your mom raised you single parent, but it takes a tribe to raise
Village,
you.
absolutely.
To a village. So who actually helped mold you to who you are today? Besides your mom, because your mom had to have some backing.
100%.
You know, she had to have somebody to have her back to hold you up.
Yeah, no, look, I'm super fortunate, blessed, you know, whatever word you want to use.
Yeah.
You know, first of all, my grandmother, Norma Alexander now, some people would have known her as Norma Long before, Norma Jackson.
Norma Jackson.
Yeah, she
You know, grandma?
she was a grandmother to a lot of kids in the community working in different school systems, Purdue, Madison, the middle school, right? So a lot of people, you know, I was a bit jealous because I was my grandma, right? But I understood pretty quick that I had to share her with everybody else. And so her presence obviously made a difference, the matriarch of that
Yeah.
side of my family.
Yeah.
And then, you know, shout out to Bernard Jackson, Barbara
Yeah.
Jackson, right? The twins, like those, the whole family on that side just really, and like I said before, we had a village on the south side of Pontiac, right? So on my father's side of the family, even, right? I mean, my folks on field do. It just, again, I will say I was fortunate in that I just didn't have fear. There was nothing that I didn't think that I couldn't do, and it was a lot because of the people who were protecting me.
Well, let me say something before. I know we got to switch over to talking about the political part, but South Side?
South side.
South Side? Born and raised South Side?
Look, let's be clear. South
South
Side.
Side?
I appreciate
All
South
right.
Side. But when you come down Bagley and when you go a little beyond Rockwell, that's considered West.
Sure. All right. Fair enough.
So we're
Okay,
going to say
okay.
West Side.
Which
we're
is
gonna
also
say this.
District 1
That's District
and
1.
downtown.
Plant your seed, plant your seed.
But listen, but honestly, my beginning came from Lakeside Home, so PJP, right?
Right,
So
100%.
that's considered Southwest.
Southwest. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
Let me just say this. A lot of people, great people, have came out to PJ.
That's right.
Sure.
Projects,
That's
right?
it.
So born and raised projects. So shout out to the projects that's no longer here
Yeah.
that have actually produced a lot of great people.
True.
Yeah.
But the greater people came from the South Side.
We ain't gonna fight that because we trying to figure we trying to keep it on Mr. Jackson.
Yes, yes.
So,
But
Mr.
see,
Jackson.
My point in this everything is that, you know, a lot of great people grew up on the South Side, but he was born and raised on the South Side. Some great people, even be under us,
Yeah.
the age group. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I don't mean under as far as the age group. A lot
Yeah.
of great people.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea that you were born and raised on the South Side. So,
See, I'm learning today too.
Crystal Lake Street. Yeah. That's where I
Listen.
grew up at.
So,
But-
Mr. Jackson,
but the
Regina,
part, what I'm
go ahead.
excited because of the South Side, but.
I see.
Well, no, because you got to get to know a little bit personal about the candidate because some candidates pop up and they're running and they have no clue. They claim to be Pontiac.
Sure.
But when you're born and raised here and you went from living in Pontiac to going to where Cranbrook and West Bloomfield, that's a shot because you got to be able to survive to do that. But go ahead and go into your question. I won't
No,
interrupt you.
I like the fact that you bringing out that so he knows Pontiac.
Yeah,
So
he
he has
does.
history with Pontiac.
Yes.
So he's been able to see the changes that has taken place
True
in
story.
Pontiac over the years.
story.
So what makes you the better candidate?
No doubt. A couple of things in my mind. So when I ran when I was 27, it was really just on passion, period, right? There was a lack of representation for my age group, in my opinion, right? At the time, where you had people who, you know, shout out to a couple of the homies that were like colliding back on the city trying to bring skill sets back. Because in my opinion, like the village has asked us to leave, gain some talents, abilities, skill sets, and then bring those experiences back. And so, and the best way, in my opinion, that I know how to give back to a community that gave so much to me is by running for city council and serving in this capacity because of the skill sets that I've been able to have, right? And specifically, right? So when I didn't win that first election, lost by 40 votes to Patrice Waterman, shout out to Patrice, a supporter now. When I didn't win that election, I just kind of felt like, oh, okay, well, I guess. Well, I also ran for state representative right after that, and Brenda Carter ended up winning that race. And so in my mind, I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe, you all just aren't ready for my politics yet, and that's okay. So I went to become an entrepreneur in the cannabis space. By the time that we got bought out, or I got bought out of the space, we had 6 dispensaries across the state of Michigan. I was the first NCIA, National Cannabis Industry Association, Black chairman of the board for that organization.
Right, man.
I was working directly with the state of Michigan on how we can improve equity in cannabis, where Black people only represent 2% of the industry. You know what I mean? So I was in the mix in a way where a lot of people that look like me just weren't.
Yeah.
And my goal was to just put everybody on that I could, because resources aren't limited. We just got to give out the knowledge, right? Somebody else winning doesn't stop me from winning.
Come on, because you wake
man.
up to win.
No
That's
doubt,
it.
no
That's
doubt.
it.
So then, shortly after that, if I could, shortly after that, I ended up purchasing a minor league professional basketball team, the Pontiac Pharaohs.
Come on, Pontiac. Shout out to the Pontiac Pharaohs.
Yeah, no doubt. So
Shout
we were
out.
in Lansing. Soon as I had the opportunity, I brought them back to Pontiac.
Good.
So partner with the school district, free for kids to come to the games, $10 a head. The goal was just to improve and give a better quality of life for people in the city of Pontiac.
So I want to say that if anybody that's watching right now, you want to call in, you can call in at 248-905-1128. That's 248-905-1128. Chris will probably be on probably another 5 or 10 minutes. So we want to just make sure that you actually give us a call if you have a question or a comment, or you want to give him a pat on the back, or you want to kick him in the head. I don't know.
Please don't kick me in
just
the
kidding.
head.
No, we ain't kicking this morning. But you want to give him a pat on the back, or you want to ask a question, or you just want to say how proud you are of him. So you can give us a call at 248-905-1128. That's 248-905-1128. But I have a question because in Pontiac, born and raised, we're all born and raised in Pontiac. And we know that, it's all about building trust.
True.
And actually bringing the residents and the city council, bringing people together.
Yeah.
So what are you actually doing to build the trust between the city council, the residents, especially where the trust has been lost?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a good question, because unfortunately, a lot of people don't vote. We don't have a very active voter base in the city of Pontiac. But I think personally it's because you have decades of Pontiac looking just like it did under a Republican administration or a Democratic administration, right? I'm talking about federally. So people feel disenfranchised. They don't want to participate in the process anymore. And over the years, I think that sinks in with folks, right? I don't think people vote for, if your name isn't Barack Obama, or even in the last election, in this case, Donald Trump, right? I don't think that people vote for names. They vote for issues that they care about.
I agree.
If you notice, when marijuana was on the ballot in Pontiac, we had the best turnout that we've had in a long time. You know what I mean? So people vote for issues that they care about.
Yeah.
I think what's really important is, I call it the off season, right? You understand, you do all of your work for what you're trying to accomplish as an athlete in the season during the off season. And so it's door to door. It's conversations. It's face to face. It's saying, okay, tell me what's going on with you. Maybe you haven't seen the person that represents you, except for a certain time of year, but I'm here no matter what, right? And I'm here now, and you have access. And so by having those conversations, at a minimum, saying that you're there, I think what it does is allows for individuals to feel like they can begin to trust in the government again. But then you got to get the results, right? So if you don't have any results, it's not going to matter anyway.
So I got just one brief question. Well, not one brief one, but what are you doing different now than what you did before? What makes you ready right now?
I'm more mature. You know what I mean? I've just had more experiences, professional experiences, skill sets that I just think nobody else has had, right? So it's not downplaying anybody else's experiences. I just know that I don't think anybody else is bringing to the table what I'm bringing to the table. Specifically, I was the executive director for the Michigan Legislative Black Caucus. For those of you who don't know what a caucus is, it's basically where you have a group of individuals who have like-minded issues that they want to fight for. And so the Black Caucus exists, 23 members in the legislature, but what I learned in that experience was how to legislate effectively, how to budget effectively, where the resources are, how to get to the resources, and then if there's something that Pontiac needs, knowing who to talk to, the timing of it. Not everybody who currently sits on council has the experience that I have related to just that, and I think that's going to make a world of difference, particularly because Pontiac needs to become more self-sufficient. Right? We can't keep relying on the federal government. We see that we can't keep relying on the federal government. So what are we doing to become more self-sufficient as a city?
That's good. Mr. Jackson, what are some events that you got going on right now?
No doubt. Today, so having a birthday meet and greet at the world famous Avon Donuts, pound for pound best donuts in the state of Michigan, in my opinion. So Avon from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. doing the meet and greet. Come have a glazed donut on me. I repeat, a glazed donut on me. But regardless, just come talk to me. You know, I know we didn't get to hit on everything today, but
I wanted to go back when you go ahead. I wanted to go back.
I was just about to say, yeah, please just come out to Avon 10 to 12. Yeah.
So I wanted to we got these last two we need to kind of hit on real quick. Questions? But so basically, you entrusted to make the right decisions on behalf of Pontiac residents.
Yeah.
What is your what is basically your decision process?
Yeah, so for me, and I'll keep it real simple, it is talking to all of the stakeholders involved first and foremost. So you got to get everybody's perspective. And then you look at the data, right? You do your own research. And ultimately, I hope this is really what I want people to take away from this. You might not always agree with the decision that I make. And as a leader, sometimes you have to make decisions that are unpopular.
That's
right?
true.
But
That is
what
true.
what I can promise you is that I will make a decision based on not only what the short-term implications are, but also thinking about how it's going to impact us for the next 10 to 20 years. Because I think we are a result of decisions that were made 20 years ago.
Correct.
Today.
Correct.
And so if we aren't looking through a lens of let's take care of right now, but also take care of the future, we're going to have the same type of issues that we keep having.
That's good. So, Mr. Jackson, if elected, and, you know, what is your first mode of action when you come in? What is your very first thing that you want to do?
Very first, just one? All right.
Yeah, just
Well, you
one.
give us two.
Well, no doubt. Well, here's the thing, and we'll get into details maybe another time, but I'll say this. I really have 5 priorities, and I'll just list them right quick, right?
Yeah.
It's getting the streets taken care of. So we got to figure out,
Fix the roads.
period. I can't, fix the damn roads, right? We got to get that done. The second thing is our babies need access to somewhere, community center, recreation center, whether it's the one that they're working on building brand new or otherwise. We got to get that done. I think council and administration has done a very good job with the home repair program for seniors. And I think we should expand that, because what that ends up doing is keeping people who are from here in the city of Pontiac, because now they can afford to be here because the city has helped them, right? And then they pass those houses on to the next generation.
Well, that's you getting the senior votes. Okay.
The next thing is building a small business ecosystem. Giving money through the ARPA program to businesses was a good start. But if you don't have an ecosystem, a network that they can build in, an incubator in which they can grow, then it's not going to matter anyway. And then the last thing is just practicing fiscal responsibility, right? A thunderstorm is coming one day. So it's important that we keep putting money in that rainy day fund.
That's good. So that we won't be depleted.
That's it.
And not in our reservoir. Well, we want to serve out of our reservoir.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's good. And the last thing I want to ask, describe what would be a good day for you
A good day. I'm gonna say
as a city council.
as a city council a good day as a city council person. First and foremost, just hearing people who I've grown up around say, I'm proud of you, right? And maybe even the ones that aren't related to me, the ones that just are in throughout the South Side and or Washington Park, West Side, Charles Lane. Just I'm proud of who you are and what you've accomplished, right? So that's the first thing, right? The second thing is getting results and getting things done. And I'll give you a quick example. I go to the Bowen Center every Tuesday. My grandmother's the secretary, so I go support her like she supports
What's your
me.
grandmother name?
Norma Alexander. Yep. So basically,
I got to go back.
yeah, I watch her do her thing, and then I just kind of hang out up there. But one of the things is it was a crater on the corner of Bagley and Orchard Lake that these seniors were having to drive through.
Yeah.
Shout out to the administration for getting it done, but I made a call and said, look, this is a space where folks congregate, particularly our seniors. They can't afford if they need car repairs, right? And they come here to be with their folks, with their friends.
Thank you.
And-
I live right there.
No doubt, that too. So they acknowledged that and said, I know we got other places that we need to take care of, but let's do something about this because this is where the seniors exist, right? So this is where they want to be. So they got that done. It was the next day really, and then we announced it the next week. But just getting results is the next thing. And then I'll say one more thing. When you watch the council meeting, I want you to bring your issues and speak your mind. I think that's important. But I want you to leave that meeting, not because it's long, but I want you to leave that meeting saying it was boring. Because I think for too many years, people look at our council meetings and they're entertained by them. And that's why they watch them. And you shouldn't be entertained. We should be taking care of the city business. That's it. And so I want you to leave that meeting saying it was informational, but it's boring and it's time for me to go to sleep. And that's where I'm at. So that's a good day to me as a city council person.
All right.
Oh, that was great answers.
Well,
Good job.
so give us your spiel right now, your lasting comment. Why should they vote for you?
Why?
Why? Look, there's a plan for Pontiac. The question is, are the people who are in Pontiac going to be a part of what that plan is long term? And you need the right leadership in place to ensure that happens, because Pontiac is in a very fragile state in which it can explode and be super positive, or we can go backwards, right, by a decade. And so for me, it's just really important that we have the right leadership with a diverse set of skill sets, first of all. But second of all, decorum is important. Right, my grandmother would say it's okay to disagree, but it's about how you disagree with people ultimately, right? And in leadership, decorum is important because you're going to have people who don't agree with you all the time. And I think what I bring to the table is not only a skill set and experience that other people don't have, but I also have a level of professionalism and decorum that I think is important to get us where we're trying to go.
That was good. Shout out to all the listeners and the viewers that are watching. Brent Barker, thank you so much for your comments. Don Hannah, good morning.
Good
Thank
morning,
you,
good morning, y'all.
everybody.
Good morning.
Your mother, Miss Jackson, and what's her last name? That went away real quick. Jackson
Jackson Hodges.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't want to disrespect her.
Nah, it's all good.
So shout out to you. This has been really good.
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So you guys get out and vote. There's only 2 people running in District 1, so actually the election is what, November?
November 4th, yeah. So don't look for my name on the primary ballot. Look for me in November, but I'm coming to a door near you soon. So
I like that. And then also, guys, you got a chance, too, to get to know Chris Jackson. Stop out today, get your free donut this morning from 10 to 12 and meet and greet. And I hope this is the first beginning of your meet and greet.
Yeah.
And happy birthday. And,
Thank you.
Birthday.
we wish you much success.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back.
Hey, Metro Detroit, it's me, Tune Up Man, along with Joe Longhammer and Regina, the queen of car loans at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet in Waterford.
If I'm looking for a new car and I have $500, Regina, what can you do for me?
I'll take your $500 and turn it into $1,000.
But there's a catch, right?
That's right. I can only handle 25 of these deals each month.
Hurry before those 25 deals are gone.
Call or text 248-266-9875.
Master Baker Sierra Crudup, owner of Delicious Sweets Bake Shop and Craven Cookies, located at 203 South Washington Street in Saginaw, Michigan, inside of the SVRC Marketplace. If you're looking for delicious sweets, this is the place to stop in. They specialize in homemade desserts and one-of-a-kind custom cakes. They can be reached at 248-836-8080 or dsibakeshop.com.
Hey, Metro Detroit, it's me, Tune Up Man, along with Joe Longhammer and Regina, the queen of car loans at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet in Waterford.
If I'm looking for a new car and I have $500, Regina, what can you do for me?
I'll take your $500 and turn it into $1,000.
But there's a catch, right?
That's right. I can only handle 25 of these deals each month.
Hurry before those 25 deals are gone.
Call or text 248-266-9875. I'll get you approved.
Hey, Metro.
Master Baker Sierra Crudup, owner of Delicious Sweets Bake Shop and Craven Cookies, located at 203 South Washington Street in Saginaw, Michigan, inside of the SVRC Marketplace. If you're looking for delicious sweets, this is the place to stop in. They specialize in homemade desserts and one-of-a-kind custom cakes. They can be reached at 248-836-8080 or dsibakeshop.com.
Bring this back.
And so y'all heard Regina say you bringing us back. So we are back with Sierra Crudup, the master baker and owner of Delicious Sweets Bake Shop and Craven Cookies. Good morning, Sierra.
Good morning. Happy Saturday.
Good morning. Happy
Good morning.
Saturday. So I'm excited to have you on. It's Saturday. This is the segment, the second Saturday. Wait, is this the second Saturday of the month?
For the
It's
second
definitely
time.
the second Saturday.
So, Sierra, you see how Regina trying to roast me this morning? But
I
hey,
can't hear Sierra though. Can you hear?
You can't hear me.
that's because she don't have her own earphones on, so you know. I ain't gonna say
Oh,
nothing.
okay.
Yeah.
So it's not my fault.
No, it's not your fault,
No,
definitely.
it's not your fault.
Yeah. So good morning. Let's talk about it. What are we talking about today, Sierra?
So today we're talking about it's your business, act like it.
Woo, wait a minute. I love that topic. It's your business. Act like it.
Yes. So this week has been a very trying week in business. And you know, when you're a business owner and you wear so many different hats, sometimes you can get just in the whirlwind of things. So, whatever the case may be, whatever you're going through, if it's your business, at some point you have to reel it back in the midst of chaos and act like it's your business and take control.
Oh, that's good. That's real good. So act like it's your business and take control. So at some point, can you get out of control?
Well, I mean, so I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I had a lot going on. So, you know, I have two shops in one place, and I have 2 to 3 staff scheduled at once. Well, one staff didn't show up. So when that staff person didn't show up, everything kind of got thrown off because that leaves a vacant business with no employee. So then that takes me from being able to do my job, and now I have to do someone else's job plus my job and meet time deadlines. So when I say like things can get out of control, at in that moment I had to make a decision. Okay, am I going to close one of the locations until an employee comes? Am I going to run back and forth? Whatever I have to do, I have to come to a decision because I still have these orders that have to be picked up at a certain time and the customer could care less. You know, so that's what I mean by you have to get control of whatever situation is going on, regardless of how it makes you feel in the moment. You still have to pull things together because at the end of the day, it's your business.
Well, you know, being it your business, but let me just say this: when you're a owner of a business, what keeps you motivated to be able to do that? Because me, I probably would have went in the corner, cried for a minute, and then try to figure it out, or just made a quick decision.
You missed
Yeah.
the fact that you would be cussing first.
Well, see, because I would be cursing first. See, I was gonna put God in there, and I wasn't gonna say that.
You
because
still will put
that-
God in there
that
because
corner-
you do go back to him after you had your tantrum. So let's just be real today, okay?
That is very true. What's the motivation that's not really like shared? Because it's hard to have the motivation when people
Employees, they
don't
share
show
that-
up.
Yeah,
they don't show
share that
up.
same
It's not their
motivation.
business.
Yeah.
It's your business.
Right. So to answer your question, the motivation really comes because there is people relying on me. Whether it be the customer who's waiting in line, whether it be the customer who's picking up their cake or their treat order that they have already paid for, or whether it's the employees that are there that are looking at me for direction. There's so many different factors and situations that are relying on me. So I have to step in, be motivated, even when I don't feel like it, and pull it together.
Yeah. Well, let's kind of talk about that because, this is your business, Delicious Sweets and Craven Cookies. Those are your establishments. So what happens, because I know God gave you the vision. So
Right.
what happens when you don't have people that's on that same level with you? For instance, I know we had a topic on vision carriers versus vision borrowers.
Yeah.
So what happens when people are not in alignment with your vision?
So
Bye,
also,
Felicia. I'm sorry. Before you answer, bye, Felicia. That's my
That's the
philosophy.
response.
That's the response. Bye, Felicia. I'm sorry. It's your part. It's your segment.
Yeah, but
Go
you,
ahead and answer.
but
But that's
that's
reality.
really reality. But guess what? When you're in business, you can't say bye Felicia to everybody. So what do you do in this piece?
yeah, so I'm the vision carrier. That's my role. But then my employees are the vision borrowers. And I hope that they would grab a hold to the vision and do exactly what I'm expecting of them and ask them to do. But sometimes they don't. So, kind of in the situation that I'm in now, if they don't carry the vision, I don't just say get out. They still have to finish their shift. We can talk about it later, but on the back end, I have to be making some adjustments and maybe hiring or reaching out to people to do some interviews because at the end of the day, I don't have to settle for the employee that can't grab a hold to the vision. I just need to keep looking for people until I find the right ones.
So you know what? Let me just say this. It seems like I know recently you just you have a new title now, right? Hello?
I do.
What's your title?
It depends on what you're talking about.
Church.
Okay, so yes, I
I
am.
didn't know either. So I was like, okay, where we
yeah.
going?
So church, and the reason I'm bringing this up right now to talk about, I know this ain't even a part of the plan here, but because you speaking differently, you sound differently. I mean, it's just your whole. I mean, it's just. I don't know. I'm about to cry inside a little bit because I mean, I just your whole like.
Then I start crying outside.
I'm serious because your talk and your speech is like it's like up here. You're here, but it's like I can't. I mean, it's you're elevating, and I just want people to know that little part that what's going on with you that's real huge.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. I did get that title, and people have been asking me.
What title?
I'm a minister, so I am now a minister at church. People call me Minister Sierra Crudup. But people have been asking me.
Sarah Crudup.
So people have been asking me, how does it feel? What's different? And I've been telling people, it's always been me. I just now have a title. So I do definitely believe that I have a greater responsibility now that I am walking in that role. And I heard something not too long ago, and it said people are watching. So I grabbed a hold of that, and not saying that I can't share my real feelings or express my real thoughts, but at the end of the day, people are watching. So I want to make sure that how people see me today at Delicious Sweets, or how they see me at Walmart, or how they see me at the barbecue, it's all the same, because if they walk into the doors of my church, I don't want them to have something negative to say about me because they see me behaving in a different way.
That's good. That's good.
Your
So
mama child.
you definitely, So well, in terms of, we were talking about vision, but you brought out, Regina asked you about the new title, being certified or receiving a certificate as a minister. See, Regina brought that up, but when you have a vision, because God has a vision, right? So God knew that you were going to be Minister Crudup before you did. So
Right.
how do you blend the two? How do you stay in, like you talked about, not wanting to be double-minded or live in double lives? You want to be the same, but how do you blend the two into your business?
So, I mean, my business, I guess I realized that years later that my business is my ministry. So, I mean, I just be genuinely who I am while I'm at work, regardless of who I come in contact with, while I'm at work, while I'm at church. So, people, when they see me, they see the same person regardless because I am always the same. And like I said, it's not, when I got the title, I didn't start to act different. It always has been me. I just now have a title.
Hmm. So now, Sierra, how do you? So now you basically sharing with us how you keep the main thing the main thing.
Yeah.
Number one, just being grounded. But I know months ago, or even, it could have been a couple years ago, you talked about prioritizing. Like, how do you start your day? As you, the first thing you said, it's your business. Act like it. What are some of the first steps that you do to get your day started? Since this is your business and you have to act like it.
Well, when I get up in the morning, I pray. I try to get my mind right with my affirmations. And I take some time to just think about my day and look at my to do list so that I can be organized. And that's usually how I start my day.
Okay.
Is it my turn?
Well, Regina want to sing.
Is it my turn? I don't know the rest
It's
of the
not
song.
it's not right if Regina don't sing.
Right.
She always singing.
That's not I don't know the rest of the song. It's my turn. What's the rest of the song? Anybody know? Donna Ross?
Uh-uh.
Okay.
No.
So we're talking about, and I guess I didn't understand this, like re-entering the culture. Help me.
Recentering. Yeah.
Oh, I put my own words in.
Yeah.
So recentering the culture. Tell me a little bit about that question.
How do you recenter the culture of your business?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, thank you.
How do I recenter the culture of my business? So I have monthly staff meetings with my employees, and a lot of times because we do so much every day, it's easy for us to, or for I would say for them to lose sight of the vision, or for them to get off focus. So every month at our staff meeting, we have an agenda. We talk about things that we need to work on. We talk about our goals, and then there's some form of appreciation that I give to them.
Oh, that's
So
good. That's
at the staff
appreciated.
meeting, that is how we refocus and we get back on the culture of the business, what we are here to do, and where we are going.
So when
Yeah.
you say appreciation, what I mean, you give them accolades. I mean, what appreciation do you give to your staff? Because
Yeah.
I
So,
wish somebody would give me some accolades, some appreciation every month.
well, before I
You can
start
appreciate
coaching,
every month.
I know I do, but I like to have it by words of mouth. I'm appreciated at work. I'm not saying, but I want the word of mouth. What kind of appreciation do you give your employees every month?
so after before we start coaching or I start talking about the things that we need to work on, I always talk about the things that are going well. So I tell them that I appreciate them. I may point out some things that I notice on their shifts, or a customer compliment because I have a particular employee that has been getting a lot of compliments. So I use that opportunity to encourage them, motivate them, let them know they are appreciated. And then this month they got gift cards to Chick-fil-A for lunch.
Yay. Shout out to the boss that
Wow.
gives gifts out like that.
You your mama's child. That's all I
Listen,
got to say.
Thank thank you.
Can I get my gift card?
Today. You're gonna get it right there. I give it to you. So I know you talked about you do staff meetings and things like that. You set the standard. And
Yes.
because you set the standard, that means you set the tone, and it's your responsibility to let the employees know how things are going to work at Delicious Sweets. And I remember reading a post this week when you were talking about customer service, when you talked about dress, appearance, all of those things. That's a part of recentering the culture of Delicious Sweets. So I know you're training, you're refraining them, but you also make sure that the expectations are known up front. So I noticed that you're always in a space where you're hiring. Why is it important that the expectations and the values for Delicious Sweets stay top tier in order for you to function the way that you do?
Well, it's important because at the end of the day, it's more than just sweets. It's more than just ringing people up and bagging their stuff up and they're going about, their journey. When customers come into Delicious Sweets or Craven Cookies, they should have an experience and they should receive a smile and they should feel like family. So, one, I'm constantly hiring because I want to make sure I have the best people. And sometimes it's, when people get jobs, they can put their best foot forward in the interview, but you never know what you're going to get until you actually get them on the floor. And then at the end of the day, we have a standard. So the standard is the standard. And if you cannot uphold the standard, then it's not a good fit for you. And I do share that at the staff meeting, the one we had this past week. I let them know if this is too much for you, then you probably shouldn't work here because I'm never going to change and the standard is never going to change.
Wow.
Sounds like you're unapologetic.
Yeah, very unapologetic.
Yeah.
You know, we had Chris Jackson on earlier, and Regina asked him the question, what was different because he ran for candidacy 9 years ago, and he talked about maturation or maturity. So, what's different for you from the first time the first Delicious Sweets store opened versus now, where you have Delicious Sweets and Craven Cookies? What is different now than then versus then? Because this is year 13, correct?
Yes. That's a good question. And I did get a chance to watch his interview with you guys. And I would say the same thing. I'm not the same person that I was then. I didn't know exactly what I was doing. I have a whole lot of experience that I didn't have. And I know what I shouldn't do. And I'm really secure with my brand, my standards, and what I believe in. So at this point, it's just excellence from here on out.
Yeah.
So when you say excellence from here on out, what does that actually mean?
That means that we are not your everyday average bakery or cookie shop. We are not mediocre. Every product is going to be great. Every recipe was created intentionally. I will not compromise the quality of my products to make more money. You're going to get a quality product. It's going to be the best ingredients. The customer service is going to be great. You're going to be treated nice every single time.
I got one last question. What's one thing that you can share that you have learned over your last 13 years, some advice you can give someone that, okay, you've been through 13 years, and 13 years is a long time and still be around.
Yeah.
Because most people don't make it out of year 2 because they're folding at the end of 1, and then they actually trying to figure it out, and they don't have a tribe, they don't have help. So what's one thing that you can give, one mistake that you made
Yeah.
that you want to share with someone who did not, so they won't make the same mistake?
Yeah. That's a loaded question because you're asking me to give just one. But I'm gonna say that you should start out with your standard and stick to the standard. Don't bend for family, friends, or anyone. And what I mean by that is if you have a standard to where you don't give discounts, when your family come, they don't get a discount either because the standard is you don't give discounts.
I like
Or if
that.
you have a standard that you arrive to work on time, but then you hire your friend and you let your friend come to work late because that's your friend. The standard is you arrive to work on time. And if you don't, then you get written up. So you want to start with standards and stick to the standards regardless of who it is, because that's a huge mistake I made in the beginning. I would discount a lot of things just to get people to order from me. I would bend the rules for certain employees because they have been with me longer or they were my friend first, and all of those things led in big mistakes. And I no longer do those things.
Wow, that's good. So, Sierra, tell the listeners how they can get in contact with you if they want to order Craven Cookies or if they want to get some sweets from Delicious Sweets Bake Shop.
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Delicious Sweets Bake Shop or Craven Cookies. You can also check out our website, cravencookies.com and dsibakeshop.com.
Wow.
What about your book? What about your book?
And I do have a book available. I'm actually getting ready to do a faith challenge starting next month. So I have a 30-day devotional for entrepreneurs, leaders, or anyone who just wants to level up in their life. And I will be posting that on my social media platforms for the faith challenge that's coming next month.
Well, continue to make us proud because you're making us prouder than what you probably could have ever imagined. But just keep doing your thing because I'm watching from a distance, but I'm very proud of you, and I
Thank
see the
you.
growth in you.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
And I thank you for sharing with us what leadership without apology looks like. So, great job. Congratulations. And I hope that this year is the best year ever for Delicious Sweets and Craven Cookies.
Me too.
All right. Well,
Thank you for having me.
listeners, absolutely. Listeners, you'll see her here again next month. This is Delicious Sweets owner, CEO, Master Baker Sierra Cruda. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next month.
You too.
So So that was good. You know what I loved about it? Both of our guests were
They're young.
they were young.
They're
They
young.
were under 40.
Yes.
They came with some valuable
Mm-hmm.
information, but most of all, they came as leaders.
Mm-hmm.
They spoke very well. They spoke about their leadership and they spoke about the things that they're doing, and also they did not compromise.
They did not.
Yeah.
So we got to get on to, I guess we got special, we got current events here. We got the
Yeah.
father and son barbecue cook-off today. It's Fire Up the Grill and Feast, Saturday, June 14th. Starts at 12 p.m. I can't tell you where it's located.
So it is in downtown Pontiac. It's at Hidden River Park. So they have first place
Thank you.
prizes. For more information, you can contact 248-758-3400. Isn't that what sisters do? Jump in and help.
Jump, you got
You
my
see?
back.
And listen,
got my back.
today, June 14th is going to be lit. Today,
Lit.
there is a parade today that is starting at 3 p.m. Registration is required, guys. The lineup starts at 1:30 and it's on Chamberlain Street at Perry. And in Perry South to University Drive to Saginaw Street to downtown. And so today, the parade is at 3. The festival is from 4:30 to 10:30. Some of the persons that will be at the festival is Quincy Stewart, the Polyester Players, Groove Session, The Best You Never Had.
And Larry Lee in back of the day.
Come on here.
Back in
And
the day.
Guess what? This is all for the free 99. Y'all better go downtown today for the Juneteenth Freedom Day celebration. This is a parade right here in the city of Pontiac. Live music, DJ food, karaoke, vendors, the Kids Zone, and fireworks taking place at Saginaw Street Historic Downtown.
All right.
Let's not forget Chris Jackson. He
10
told you
to
all.
12, 10 to 12 at Avon Donuts, meet and greet with Chris Jackson. Give away, well, no, he's giving away donuts. 1 donut per person. Don't come being greedy. Don't come feeding the family or thinking you can take 2 or 3 donuts per person. 1 donut per person, okay? Don't be greedy.
Listen, I can't say nothing.
Don't be greedy. But stay tuned that we will be doing something at Avon Donuts soon.
Yeah.
Dr. T and the Queen and Dr. T, and be in the driver's seat.
And you'll be able to get my my donut that I like. We gonna tell.
What's
we
that
gonna tell- I like those donuts that look like.
Okay, we gotta go. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching this
I like
morning.
the bow tie donut.
Okay. Thanks for watching this morning. Thanks for listening. You can also find us on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel, Be in the Driver's Seat.
Yeah.
And tune in every Saturday morning. We're live on Facebook, and you also can check us out on our other on the other podcast
Spotify.
platforms. Yes.
Yeah, Spotify, YouTube. So Regina trying to brush me off of here, y'all.
So we
Happy
gotta
Saturday.
go. We gotta go.
Happy Saturday.
Happy
everybody.
Saturday, everyone.